It was my 10th birthday. After eating cake and ice cream, it was time to open presents. I ripped and tore up one. Inside was a pair of binoculars. I loved those binoculars so much I took them everywhere I went. To school, on car rides, to the park, you name it. I mostly used them in my room and watched my neighborhood. Nothing really goes on but people driving or walking their dogs on the sidewalk. I asked my parents if it was okay if I invited my friend Josh over. It was the weekend, so they nodded. Josh had suggested a fun game to play with my binoculars. The game is called I Spy. You look for something, then give the other person a hint and try to figure out what it is. The rules were simple, so I agreed. I'll go first, Josh said. I handed him the binoculars, and he proceeded to look around. Finally, he said, I spy with my little eye something that is stinky. Stinky? That's it? I asked. Yep, that's all you get. Should be pretty easy for you. He handed me back the binoculars and switched me spots. I took a good look around with very little information I was given. About 4 minutes, I finally figured out what he meant. I got it. It's someone's trash can. That's a pretty good one. You got me. I was about to look away when I saw a man throwing a large black bag away in that same trash can. It was unusually big, and for some reason, I couldn't look away. Once the man was finished, he paused, then quickly turned and looked directly at me. I dropped my binoculars and stepped back away from the window, gasping. What's wrong? Josh asked. That man, by the trash can. We made eye contact as if he knew he was being watched. I said, we're on the second floor of your house. There's no way. You're probably just seeing things. I picked up my binoculars and looked outside again. He wasn't there. Suddenly, there was a knock on my door, which startled me. It was just my dad. Hey, son, I got a letter for you. Don't know who it's from, but I figured it was probably one of your classmates. All right, I'll leave you guys be. Once my dad left, I took the letter and immediately opened it. I started reading it and felt uneasy. I spy with my little eye, one boy, two eyes. I dropped the letter and began to panic. Josh took the letter and read it for himself. Come on, dude, it's obvious someone's pulling a sick joke on you, Josh said. Well, I should probably head home while it's still daylight. I'll catch you later, man. Josh leaves, and I put both the letter and my binoculars away. Monday was here. It was time for school. The bus had arrived, and when I got on it, no Josh. I sat down alone and thought to myself, maybe his parents drove him today. The class bell rang. I grabbed my belongings and headed to class. Josh was always there before I was, but as I walked in and looked around, he was nowhere near to be found. Panic started to sink in. It's not like him to miss school for anything. That's when the intercom came on. The principal asked me to come to the office immediately. I grabbed my things and headed that way. Once I arrived, I was greeted with Josh's parents, my parents, a police officer, and the principal. They have informed me that Josh had gone missing a day after he came over last weekend. I didn't know what to think. One of my best friends has gone missing. After some questioning, I was excused for the day. I went straight into my room and grieved. Then I looked on my nightstand and saw my binoculars. It was the first time in a short amount of days I used them. Then I remembered the letter. I spy. Sweat immediately dripped from my face. I grabbed my binoculars and looked outside. I zoomed in closer and saw something inside the house where that man was last time. What I saw was my worst nightmare. The man smiled wide, looking at me holding Josh's body. What made it even more disgusting is that Josh's eyes were gone.